Connect your feet to the earth. Engage your legs. Find a neutral pelvis. Bring tone to the belly. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. And for a moment, close your eyes. Notice how you're feeling in your body, physically, energetically. Notice how you feel in your mind, your mental state. Is it busy? Is it calm? Just notice what you're feeling so that you can inform how you move. We've got a big stretching class sort of planned, intended to just slow ourselves down. We're in this space of transition from summer to fall. And in traditional Chinese medicine, they even have a name for this season because, you know, a major concept in Chinese medicine is to really live in harmony with the seasons, to honor the seasons, notice the transitions. So there is a season, a distinct fifth season called late summer. And we often don't notice it because we get right back into the fall routines, particularly if you're in school or you have kids in school and maybe work is cyclical or some other way that's cyclical, that you kind of get right into that routine and you don't take a moment to notice. So today we're going to take a moment to notice the transition in our breath, in our practice, and we're slowing down, not just speeding off to the next thing. I'm just going to pause here and notice, maybe reflect on the last season so that it could, inform how we move forward into the subsequent season. So with that in mind, notice your breath. Connect your awareness to your breath. Allow it to deepen. Smooth and easy. Finding your Dirga breath, that 3-part yogic breath where you fill up the low belly. Then you feel the breath develop into the side, middle, back body. Feel the breath travel up to the collarbones. Feel the collarbones lift. And then exhale from the upper, the middle, and the lower lungs. So breathe in this way a few rounds. And then to get a little heat and movement going in our body, we'll start with our breath of joy. So continue that 3-part yogic breath. Add corresponding arm movements so that when you fill up the belly, you send your arms forward. When you fill up the middle lungs, you send your arms out to the side. When you fill all the way up to the collarbone, send your arms all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, hinging from your hips, softening your knees, and send your arms back behind you with an exhale, maybe through the mouth with a ha. All right, so now here we go. And you could add a little bounce. You could keep this pace at whatever pace feels comfortable for you. Inhaling through the nose, ha, and exhaling through the mouth. Ha. Two more. Last time. And then come to standing and pause and notice. Maybe more invigorated, a fuller breath. Maybe a little bit of a calmer mind, calmer, more focused mind here. So now return to the breath and maybe layer on top of the Dirga a slight ujjayi, that ocean sounding breath where we constrict the back of the throat so it makes a little audible sound. Do that on the inhale and the exhale. Noticing if one is stronger than the other, because likelihood it is. So see if you can make them equal in strength. And also notice the arc of the breath, the beginning, the peak, the completion, and just notice that. And then notice the spaces between. Notice when the inhale is complete before the exhale begins. Notice the exhale complete. And then notice that space before the inhale begins. And see if you could add a little pause there. Just a little awareness there. Maybe linger and hang out there for a moment or two. And that's where we're at. We're in this space in between in late summer. Now continue that breath, your Samavriti breath, throughout the practice if you can. And it's all right if you forget. That's what yoga is. It's this process of remembering, forgetting and remembering, and then remembering. So here we go. Let's add a sun breath with our Samavriti breath. Big inhale, getting long. And then to take your exhale, tone your belly, send your left arm forward, right arm back. Let's add some rotation. Inhale, arms back to center as you de-rotate, and exhale to the left. So practicing your Samavriti, pausing if you want. Going at your own pace. This is your Vinyasa, your practice. You could even add a little rotation to your gaze, whether it's looking forward to the left hand or back to the right. One more time, each direction. Next time your arms come overhead, pause here. We'll add a little side bend. So you could keep your arms wide, or you can bring them together, shoulder width, Anjali Mudra or Sapana Mudra, where you make a little steeple shape with your extended pointer fingers. Tone your belly. Flow side to side with your Samavriti breath, inhaling and exhaling. Only go as far as feels comfortable for you, honoring how you're feeling in the rest of your body, your low back. And notice next time you fold to the right, let's pause and hold it there. You can rotate your gaze and look down at your right foot, or you could look up to the inside of your left arm. You could bend or straighten your arms if you like. And then if you want, you could add a lunge and a little balance challenge by softening your knees. Send your left leg back and to the right as you bend the knee and take a little side bend and breathe. Next inhale, let's come to standing. Whoops. And back to center. Release our hands, especially if you took Sapana Mudra. Now take the opposite interlace. Elongate here, and then flow side to side with your breath. Reconnecting with Samavriti if we forgot about it. Yeah, in yoga and in life, things become concealed and then they are revealed. And then hold the left, breathing into the right lung. If you want, you could add the rotation of your gaze, your drishti, or you could add your lunge. Oops, I've got my blanket back there, so don't want to be on that. I'll glide and breathe. Take one more breath. And then slowly come back up. Back to standing. And release your arms wide to the side. Oof. And then notice how your shoulders feel. Let's add some rotation. So let's start rolling our shoulders forward, whether it's just the shoulders or you have your arms in a different configuration. That's fine. Just find your fullest range of motion. And going the other direction. And then pause and notice. One more little movement before we go into our sequence. Let's add some rotation to our neck. So making little circles with your nose, letting the skull move on the top of the spine, the atlas, that ball and socket joint. Go in the other direction, being with or backing away from the crepitus sound if it causes you pain or a little distress. Otherwise, it's not harmful. And then pause here and notice how you're feeling now. Right. So let's go into our standing sequence, our warrior one sequence. If you'd like to have a blanket for underneath your knee, you can do that. All right, and I'm going to come to the short side of my mat, and you might want to have a few blocks. We'll be doing our knee down lunges and knee down lunges. So you might want to have your blocks and a blanket for your knee for comfort if you like. Find your Tadasana. Grounding feet, toning belly, arms by your sides. Take a big inhale, get long here, elongate, and then maybe even add extension by lifting your heart and gaze. Exhale, hands through prayer or swan dive, hinge from your hips and forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up halfway, hands climb up your legs or onto your blocks, Ardha Uttanasana, get long. Exhale, back into your Uttanasana. And now to step back, let's lift our left leg. Let's go into a standing split for a moment. So you can lift that left leg to the sky, grounding into the right leg, bringing it towards straighter, lifting left leg, pressing through the ball of your foot, maybe even holding onto right ankle with your hand to pull your head closer towards your knee. One more breath. And then release your hand if you took a class, bend your right leg, lower your left leg, and just go right into your low lunge. Square your hips, make sure that right knee is over the ankle, lengthen from your crown of your head to your back heel, and see if you can find a little space between your belly and your thigh. Even if it's like energetic, just like get a little lift there. Take one more breath, and then lower the back knee down. Lower your left knee down. Maybe even wiggle your right leg forward so you get more of a stretch in the front of your left leg. Good. Have your hands on the earth, on blocks, or even on the thigh if you want, as we take this little vinyasa, a mini vinyasa. So come forward, maybe letting the knee drop past the ankle, lifting your heart and gaze. And then exhale, straighten your leg, drawing your hips back towards your left heel. Dig the right heel and lift toes. 4 more times like that, coming forward, lifting your heart and gaze. Find an extension. And exhale, as you find your flexion, tone your belly and fold over that leg, getting a nice opening in the back of your leg. There we go, lifting our heart and gaze. And then extend. And then lower, lifting your heart and gaze. And exhale and extend. Last time. And exhale and extend and pause and hold here. Square your hips, tone your belly, maybe lift the toes, lengthen your torso, and melt your heart over the leg. Breathing here. Then let's rise back up. So lower the foot, bend the knee. Curl your back toes under. Lift the leg. Good. Find your low lunge. We're going to rise up into warrior one. So options, just use leg strength and core strength to roll up, like let your hands dangle. Use your blocks or your hands on your thigh, or send your arms forward and use maybe a little bit more of a lengthening and core strength to come up. So come up however you want. Find your Virabhadrasana 1. Square your hips, activate back leg. Lengthen through side body. Inhale here, and then exhale, straighten your leg and lower your arms. You can even let the back heel like kind of lower a little bit, like you're in a pyramid pose. And then bend the knee, lift the heart. Inhaling here. Exhaling as you straighten your leg and lower your arms. Find your Samavritti breath if you forgot about it. Maybe pausing here before you begin your exhale. Maybe pausing here before you begin your inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale and hold and breathe. Good. Strong legs. Maybe lift your gaze, challenging balance a little bit. Take one more breath. And then exhale, lower your hands to frame your foot. Lower your back knee. Bring your front knee to meet the back knee. So right knee to meet the left. Going into knees, chest, chin to get down. So bend the elbows. Keep your hips lifted. Melt your heart and gaze. Good. And then pull your hips through. Uncurl your toes. Plant the tops of your feet, your belly. Squeeze buttocks. Hands are in line with your chest. Elbows are kind of hugging in toward the midline. Inhale, peel up, lifting your heart, looping the shoulders down the back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, peeling up again, looping the shoulders down the back. And exhale, lower down. And again, inhale, peeling up. So we're strengthening the back body as we take these essentially back extensions, grounding through the feet, engaging the belly, squeezing the glutes. And then lower back down. Press up through your hands and knees, curl your toes under, stay here into puppy pose, sit back into a child's pose, or send your hips to the sky for your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So you decide where you'd like to be. Maybe you want to pedal your feet if you're in your dog pose. Whether you're in dog or puppy, work on that lengthening of the torso. Bringing the inner arms up to sky. If you're in your child's pose, let your hips descend back towards your heels, lengthening the back body. Take another breath or two. And then yogis, to transition back to Uttanasana, you decide, would you like to walk your feet to your hands today or your hands to your feet? If you walk your hands to your feet, you may even choose to add a little walking splits like we started in our standing split. So you can take little baby steps as you take a walking standing split forward. Good, and then we'll all meet up into our Uttanasana, however we got there. Rise up halfway, get long. Exhale back into your fold, bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs, lift your chest. Use your strong legs to rise all the way up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana, and then hands to prayer, Anjali Mudra at heart center. And notice how you're feeling now. Good, and breathe. All right, other side, so lower arms to side. Take a big inhale, get long, lifting heart and gaze. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale and fold again. Let your hands come on the earth or your blocks and see if you could put the weight into your left leg and lift your right leg to the sky for a standing split. Now, if ever a standing split didn't feel right, you could rise back up and take any single leg balance right here if you wanted to just challenge a balance, because that's essentially what we're doing. We're warming up our hips, but we're also, balancing here. So you could do a single leg balance and then come back into your lunge and then lower down, right? So lots of ways to get there. So wherever you are, let's start to think about bending the standing leg and lowering the lifted leg. So we're back in a low lunge, squaring hips, toning belly, lengthening from crown to heel, and then lower the right knee down. Extend the right leg back if you like to get a deeper stretch in your psoas hip flexor area. And then here we go, let's add our vinyasa. So lifting your heart, looping the shoulders down the back, broad across your collarbone, taking the biggest inhale, and then emptying out on the exhale as you extend your leg. Lift your toes to get some opening in the back of your leg, your calf and hamstring. Flowing back and forth 4 more times like that, using your Samavriti breath. Couple more rounds. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. And then hold your Ardha Hanumanasana, squaring hips, digging that heel in, lifting toes, get a nice stretch to the back of the legs. Lengthen your torso, maybe melt your heart over that leg and breathe. Take one more breath. And then let's rise up. Lower the foot, bend the knee, lift the back leg, low lunge again. Getting ready to rise up to Virabhadrasana 1. So however you'd like to get there, using the support of your leg or leg core strength, rise up. And then again, square your hips, engage the back leg so the heel is over the toes, belly's toned, shoulders are relaxed down the back. Take your inhale here, and then on your exhale, straighten your leg and lower your arms. You even let the back heel descend a bit, getting a stretch in the back leg now. Inhale, extending and bending. Exhale, straightening and lowering arms. Inhale, fully, maybe lingering and adding that pause. And then exhale, extend. Complete your exhale, honor the pause. We'll keep going like that a few times. Last one. And then hold your Vira 1. Engaging the legs, toning the belly, maybe lifting heart and gaze, maybe widening your arms and enjoying being in your body this morning. Feeling gratitude for your practice. Holding that Samavriti. And then slowly lowering down, hands frame the left foot. Left foot goes back to meet the right. Full or modified plank. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, lower onto belly. Either way, the chest goes forward, elbows bend back. Maybe pause when your rib cage is in line with your elbows, lower all the way down. Uncurl toes, plant tops of feet, engage glutes, draw navel in, ground hands, peel your heart, loop the shoulders down the back as you squeeze your shoulder blades towards the spine. Okay, another like little cobra vinyasa, but think of this, we're really engaging and strengthening the back body. Inhaling, so remember your Samavriti. And exhale. Now, if you want, let's start to rise up a little higher. So maybe you can bring your arms towards straighter, like rising toward a king cobra. Maybe you can make your way to an upward facing. So one more time, and then hold wherever you are, whether it's cobra, king cobra, or upward facing dog. If you're in your upward facing dog, draw your inner legs in, your inner thighs in, so you don't sickle your feet. Now decide how you're going to get back into dog pose. Press up through hands and knees, roll over your toes. Either one, find your downward facing dog. Lifting hips to sky, toning belly, melting heart. Spin our inner arms up to sky and breathe here. A couple more Samavriti breaths. Returning to Samavriti if we forgot. It's okay. We forget and then we remember. Taking those moments to honor the space between the inhale and the exhale, where the exhale completes and that inhale begins. Now, yogi, same thing, transition back to Uttanasana. So you can bring your hands to your feet, you can walk your feet to your hands, and if you want, you could even add your standing split walk. And then let's all meet on our Uttanasana, rising up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back into our Uttanasana, and then bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Strong legs help you to rise up. Hands to prayer and prayer to our heart. Noticing how you're feeling now. Ready for Warrior 2 sequence. So let's do it facing the long side of our mat. You can step or hop out to your wide-legged stance. maybe 3 feet or so. Left foot, in Tadasana leg, so toes facing forward. Right leg externally rotates, from the thigh, the knee, the foot. Yeah, good. Nice and stable. Hips open to the side. Inhale with our Samavriti breath again. Big inhale. Pause. And then exhale, bend your knee, lower your arms to shoulder height. Pause. Inhale. And lengthen. And then exhale. Drawing the tailbone down, navel in, low ribs in. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Pause in. Last time. Pause. Exhale. Pause. And now hold your warrior 2, maybe making sure that knee is over the ankle, drawing towards pinky toe side of foot. Back leg is active, belly's toned, arms are active. Maybe gaze down the middle finger of your right hand for a couple more breath cycles here. And then let's straighten our right leg, getting ready for a Chicha Kunasana, tucking that right hip under, reaching forward with your right arm and rib cage. Lower that hand down, so it might be on the thigh, the shin, the block, or the earth. Use of the lower arm to get more rotation through your torso. Lengthen through both sideways as you extend your arm. Lengthen the neck and maybe look to your upper hand and take a few more Samavriti breaths. And then lower the hand down to the earth, soften the knee if you need to, so that you can pivot your feet to face the long side of your mat. Walk your hands between your legs, Prasarita. You can keep your toes parallel or turn them in slightly. Make sure hips, ankles, knees are aligned. You could just melt into the fold if you like for a moment, letting the arms dangle, the head dangle. As you fold yourself in half, keep lifting sits bones to sky. Good. And then let's bring our hands under our shoulders, rising up halfway. We'll add a twist. Right hand grounds, left arm to sky. And breathe here. Find the rotation from the belly. Broad across your collarbones. Samavriti breath. 1 more. Lower the left hand down. Rotate your torso and open up to the right. One more time each side. This time you can option to ground your right hand down on the earth, or maybe take hold of your left leg somewhere, the calf, the ankle, or the foot. Keep your torso long though, not trailing off to the left when you do that. So you're just finding more rotation starting at the belly and arm to sky. And then slowly switch. Again, the hand could rest on the earth or onto your leg, and then rotate to the right. Samavriti. And then slowly lower your hand down. And then find your hands under your shoulders. You can melt one more time down towards the earth, letting your head dangle, maybe shaking your head yes and no. And then rise up halfway. Maybe heel toe your feet together. Let's come together, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Back into your Uttanasana. Rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, belly on your thighs with your strong legs. Rise all the way up to standing. Arms overhead to prayer, and then prayer to your heart. All right. Other side. When you're ready, step or hop out. Externally rotate left leg. Right leg is in Tadasana. Arms reach wide to the side, overhead, inhaling and exhaling into your Vira-2. Adjusting your stance, maybe making it wide so that your hips might be in line with your knees or a little higher than knees. Knee over ankle, drawing towards pinky toe side of foot. Both legs active. Arms active and flowing Samavriti breath. Last time. And hold here. On this next inhale, straighten the left leg, tuck the hip under. Maybe bringing that right hip kind of over as you reach forward the left arm. When you can't go anymore, lower the left arm down, right arm to sky. And breathe here. Lengthening through side body. Take one more breath. Lower the hand down. You can soften the knees so that you can walk your hands to the midline again. Let's take a little side lunging. Let's do our Skandasana Flow. So your hands could be on the earth, the blocks, or you could even decide to bring them onto your thighs and you could kind of be up high for this sequence. Remember, we bend the knee and the knee goes in the direction of the toe. Then you can come through center, bend the other knee. And you can go side to side, flowing with your Samavriti breath. Again, staying upright, if that's better for the knees. You can hinge a little forward. You could, lengthen your torso, even keep your arms out to the side so that it takes a little bit more core and leg strength. You can have your hands on the earth for a little extra support, especially if you're going to sink a little deeper. So see what feels comfortable for you. And flowing with your breath. One more time each side. And coming back to center. Ground the hands. Hinge from the hips, lift the hips to the sky and melt the crown of your head to the earth. You can keep your hands under your shoulders or even on your thighs. As I said, you can always keep your head at heart height. So your forward fold can be, here at hip height. You focus on length from the back body through the back of your torso and legs. You can hold on to your legs and maybe draw the head towards the earth and fold a little deeper. And then let's rise up halfway, hands under the shoulders, and then heel toe your feet together. Heel toe your feet together once again. Into a forward fold. Rise up halfway. Exhale, fold again. Bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Use your strong legs to rise all the way up to standing. Hands to prayer and prayer to your heart. And notice how you're feeling now. Let's take a few clearing breaths. Big inhale. And exhale it out, grounding your energy. Good. And one more. Big inhale, lifting, lengthening. And exhale, and you round. Now let's finish up our standing sequence with a tree pose. Let's do our Vinyasa. So to get there, you might want to have some support of a wall or a chair. Place the weight into your left leg. You could even have your hand on the hip if it's not holding onto a prop. Pick up your right leg a little bit or to hip height. Dorsiflex your foot. Externally rotate the leg. But maybe hold it here for a moment, even taking a twist, whether it's rotating your gaze and your arm to the left, holding here for a moment. Good. And then you can derotate your gaze and your arm. Flex the knee and see if you can bring the heel towards your groin and lower it onto your standing leg. So find your tree. Just don't press on the knee. Let your heel rest over the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh, just not on the knee. Because you really want to press the bent leg into the standing leg to find more stability And then length through the body. So activate your outer hips, draw them in, lengthen through the torso. Keep your hands on your hips, at your heart. Extend them overhead. So whatever feels comfortable for you. And maybe taking a mudra. Maybe even today it might be appropriate to come into our Padma Mudra, offering compassion for ourselves and all beings. When you're ready, you can release your mudra or lower your hands to your heart or hips. Release the foot and then bring the knee back to the midline and lower it down. So coming out the way we went in. Other side. Grounding that right foot, nice soft connection to the earth. Tone your belly. Pick up the left leg and then externally rotate it to the left. Maybe for a moment, your right hand on hip or out to the side, you can rotate your gaze to the right. A little balance challenge. And then bring your gaze back to center, maybe float your hand back onto your hip, flex that knee, draw that heel to buttocks and bring that leg in as much as you're able to. Without the hand, then maybe make adjustment with the hand. Drawing the legs toward each other, activating outer hips, toning belly, lengthening through crown of head. And bring your hands to heart center. Breathe here. And extend your arms to the sky. Or bringing them to your Padma Mudra. When you're ready, release your mudra, release the foot, bring the leg back to the midline and plant your foot back to the earth. Place it back onto the earth. So now we're going to go into some floor work. We'll include a pigeon. And so the invitation is to come into your pigeon through a table or dog pose, but we'll go through a vinyasa with our forward folding. So let's come to the top of our mat. And also you may want to have handy your blocks or your blanket to prop in whatever variation you choose. So starting in Tadasana, connecting feet to earth, toning belly. Take a big inhale, arms wide to the side and overhead, maybe lifting heart and gaze, taking an extension. Exhale, hinging from your hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Take a half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, go back into your fold, Uttanasana, and then walk back into your plank pose. Decide if you're going to lower to table or you're going to press back to dog. And breathe here, grounding hands, spinning inner arms up to sky, lifting hips, toning belly. Wherever you are in tabletop or dog pose, lift your right leg to the sky or lift your leg up. So if I was in tabletop, it's just going to be at hip height. If I'm in my dog, I might lift it up a little higher. And then either way, we're going to bend the knee and then open the hip to the side. All right, so here it is in my dog, here it is in my table. And then you can add rotation to the hip if you want. Let's find your fullest rotation. Going in both directions. Good. And then bring the movement to stillness, draw the leg to neutral and extend your leg. Whether you're in tabletop or dog pose, bend the knee, come forward so your shoulders are over your hands and bring that knee in between your hands. So I just brought my knee forward, right in between my hands. And then decide, if I want to take a modified version, I'm going to just roll over onto my right hip and bend my knees. Actually, I'm going to turn side. I'm going to switch legs just so you can see this. I'm going to just roll onto my hips and bend my knees. And so I have this generously bent, shape to the body, kind of almost like, I don't know, 90-90 legs, so you can, and it could be as bent as that or a little bit straighter. Now I'm really stable with my hips so that I could hinge forward in front of my front shin, ground my sits bones back, and get a nice stretch in my outer hip and groin. And then it's really stable. Hopefully it's easy on the knees. There's not the weight of gravity. There's not even the deep flexion that's in figure 4 sometimes. So this might be really nice. And you can separate your legs as much as you want. You can bend your knees as much as you want. And then you fold in front of that shin. If you have your hips square to the mat, then you may try to draw the right knee towards your right hand. And then that foot towards the opposite hand. Wiggle the back leg back. If the hip doesn't come onto the earth so well, you could prop it with a block or a blanket. Now stay here, stay upright for a moment. Now this is just for the folks in the more traditional pigeon pose where we have our hips square to the mat. You may want to bend the knee and see if you can draw the foot in and take a quadricep stretch. You may even want to reach back with your left hand and grab the foot. And breathe into that quad stretch. Then maintaining the quad stretch, maybe come onto your right forearm and take a little forward fold here. Getting into the reclined aspect of the posture with a quad stretch. And then you could release the leg nice and easy and come all the way down. And breathing. Samavriti breath, wherever you are. If you're in that modified version or you're in this more traditional version. And maybe even using a blanket is probably even better of a cushion. It's really important to get a cushion too, because then your muscles can they'll be supported and they can surrender. They could just relax. Otherwise, they're going to be tight holding the pose and you might not get the same benefits. So think about, don't avoid propping and thinking that you're not really doing it. You're doing it. And in fact, you might get more out of it. Good. Now, yogis, wherever you are, if you're in the modified version and your hips are down already, great, stay there. Those who are in the square down version and have a prop, move the prop. Let's all roll onto the right hip. Then we'll rise up and sweep our left leg forward to get ready for a twist. So this left leg could come to the outside of the right. I'm going to actually turn again. Keep turning. You might be in your full knee down twist. You might want to extend the leg and bring the foot to the outside of the leg, or you might want to bring the foot to the inside of the leg. Wherever you are, we're twisting to the left. So you can keep your torso upright, tone your belly, maybe wrap the right elbow crease around the knee and draw it in, twisting left. So find that twist, whatever variation suits you today. And then let's unwind. Keep the right leg bent still and send your left leg long. Now maybe send it just slightly out to the left. So it's like going to do a Parivrita Janushrasana, or just like a little bit of a side bend. And you could even use your blocks. If you have your blocks handy, even one or two, or your blanket. Because we're going to bring our left arm to the inside of the leg. So it might be that you do it without a block. You might want a block to the inside of the leg or even on top of the leg, right? And then use this leverage of your left arm and leg to get more rotation. So you're rotating your torso to the right so that you can bring your left side body over the left leg. So it's really a lateral stretch. Ground that right hip down, maybe send that right arm out behind you and up and overhead towards your foot. And breathe here. Returning to some every deep breath if we forgot about it, because maybe we did. Take one more breath. Good. And then rise up. Oof, nice and long. And now let's finish up with a forward fold, or Uttanasana. So you're going to bring the left leg more towards straight, straight out of the hip socket. You've got the right leg pressing against the left. The legs are grounded like our tree pose. So ground from your legs, lengthen through your torso. Take a sun breath. Inhale and exhale, fold over your left leg. Only hinge as far as you're able to in your low back. Let your hands just frame the foot, or the leg rather, the calf. Maybe they could reach towards the foot. Maybe you can even take a foothold, but it doesn't matter whether you do. I like to always say it doesn't make you good or a bad person, whether you can grab your foot and bring your nose towards your knee or your forehead towards your knee, right? So just be where you are and breathe through it. Soften into it. Enjoy the pauses between the inhale and the exhale. Enjoy the stillness of this posture. A little slowing down of our practice in this 5th season of late summer. And now let's look up toward our toes and then rise up. Good. Release your leg. Maybe give your legs a stretch, a little windshield wiping, whether they're straight or bent. And then when you're ready, we can do the whole other side. So how did you get there? You may have done table or dog pose. So whichever you did, do it again on the other side. You just send your legs in one direction, roll over your knees, and then go into your table or your dog pose. Reset for a moment or two. Good, and breathe in. Now, from table or dog, we're going to lift our left leg, bend the knee, open the hip. Maybe add some hip circles in both directions. Keep it open. Nice. Close the hip, extend the leg. Draw that leg in, bend the knee, draw it in right between your hands. So if you could extend that right leg. Decide, maybe you're going to modify by rolling onto the left hip, or maybe you're taking that frontal variation where you wiggle that right leg back, draw the left knee towards the left hand, left foot towards right hand, flexing or pointing your foot so it's maybe a pointed foot with a flexed toes, just to protect the ankle, keeping it locked. And then maybe propping under the left hip. Stay upright for a moment to maybe enjoy a quad stretch. Returning to Samavriti, wherever you are. Remember, if you're in the modified version, you are folding in the plane of that front shin. So you're not folding over the knee or in the middle, you're kind of at this angle, keeping your sits bones grounded, and you should feel a nice outer hip groin stretch. Okay, those who have that quad stretch, maybe come down to reclined quad stretch. And then maybe you could slowly release and come all the way down into reclined pigeon. Let's all take a couple more Samavriti breaths wherever we ended up. And then when you're ready, let's all rise up. Move any props out of the way. Roll onto your left hip if you're not already there. Sweep the right leg up and around, getting ready for your Marichyasana, your seated twist. Okay, so the right foot could come to the outside of the knee, the left leg could extend or not, and the foot could even be to the inside of the leg. So find your seated twist. Both sits bones stay grounded, belly tone, lengthen through the torso. Start to rotate from your navel to the left, using the left elbow crease to, kind of as leverage for your twist, your tricep. And breathe here. And then slowly unwind. Extend your left leg if it isn't already. Oh, sorry. Extend your right leg if it isn't already. And maybe a little bit out to the side, because we're going to do our Paridrita Uttanasana, that's side bending or rotated big head to knee pose. Okay, so maybe the right arm's to the inside of the leg on a prop or not. Use the leverage of that arm to rotate your navel towards the left knee. Reach that left arm away, get wide across your chest, and send that arm up and overhead so that you're folding your right rib cage or your side waist over the right leg. And breathe here. Maybe even energetically reaching toward the toes. Just keep spinning the heart open. Don't let that shoulder collapse in that effort to kind of reach towards the toes, because it doesn't, like I said, doesn't make us better if we can touch our toes. We just want to find this nice side bend, an open heart, nice opening in the shoulder, and breathe here. Returning to Samavriti. And then slowly rise up with your core strength. Bring the right leg in if it isn't already. Drawing left foot to right thigh. Toning belly, grounding legs. Take a sun breath and then exhale, hinging forward and finding your Janushirsasana, head to knee pose. So again, doesn't matter if we bring our head toward our knee. We're just trying to really keep our legs grounded, like in Vrikshasana, getting a stretch through the low back, keeping a long torso so we melt into the pose with our heart, even if our heart is here, even if our heart is all the way on the thigh. It doesn't matter. Just breathe, lengthen, enjoy the stretch. Just return to center. This pause between the seasons. This pause between our breaths. Or the pause within our breath cycle. And then yogis, let's look toward our toes so that we come up with length. Release the left leg, maybe add some rotation. Good, yeah. Some, side to side, some windshield wiping. Nice. And then we're going to come onto our backs. So you can pivot onto your mat if you need to. Maybe you even come down with bent knees. You can use the support of your legs or core strength to come onto your back. Plant the feet on the earth. Draw the lower back into the earth, ground through your head. And take a moment to notice how you're feeling now. Bring your knees in towards your chest, give them a squeeze. Massage along the back body, maybe making circles with your knees. Go in the other direction. You can really squeeze them in, head to knees, knees to head. And then you can draw your legs away, even let the palms rest on your knees, fingers pointing towards your toes. Extend your arms, and then exhale, bend your arms and draw your legs in. And feel a nice rocking on your spine this way, more laterally than horizontally. Good. And then if you want, you can draw the legs, keep the legs in, draw your knees apart, let your hands glide down your shins and hold on to your ankles for Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. You could even hold on to the outside blades of your feet. If you catch that, then maybe you send your feet to your sky and you take happy baby. Drawing the legs in. And by the way, you could always take happy baby from here. You're still pulling the legs in, getting a nice hip opener, more of a symmetrical pose after our asymmetrical series there. Maybe rocking side to side a little bit. Rock across your head. Take another breath or two. And then slowly bring that movement to stillness. You can bend your knees again. You can keep your feet together if you'd like to go into your Supta Baddha Konasana with your feet on the earth for your final relaxation. Or you could extend one leg and then the other. And pause here. Take a big inhale. And exhale it out with a sigh. And inhale again here. And on an exhale, soften your face, soften any tension in the face. Let it just, let it go on your exhale. Parting your jaw, softening the space between your eyebrows, softening your eyes. Take another big inhale, and on an exhale, soften any tension in your chest, in your arms. Let it just dissipate out through your fingertips. Then take another big inhale, and on an exhale, soften your belly. Surrender the weight of your low back, your hips, your legs. Send any tension out your lower body and extend out through your toes. Take another big inhale, your final willful inhale, and then exhale and surrender it here and float here, fully supported by the earth, without any holding, any control of your breath. Just float here. So that you can integrate the practice, restore your vital energy, and absorb the Shanti, the peace of yoga. Energize yourself. Don't tell yourself you have no energy. You are energy. Learn to energize yourself. Get up, move around, play some invigorating music, stretch your arms, stretch your legs, move your body around, get out and walk. Watch children play. They seem to have an unlimited supply of energy. Remember what it was like to be a child. You had an unlimited supply of energy then too. Most of us still do. Yes, we do get tired from time to time, particularly with the schedules many of us have. And there are times in our life when less energy is available to us, such as during times of deep grief or during illness when our body is using energy to heal a physical problem. And sometimes other people and their problems drain us, but sometimes we drain ourselves. If you don't feel your energy, perhaps something is blocking it. You may be experiencing some resistance to what you're trying to do. Maybe an old emotion or belief is clogging your circuits. Maybe you've been sitting too long, crunched up in your chair, blocking your own circuits. Maybe you're telling yourself you have no energy so loudly that you've begun to believe it. Clear your circuits, push through whatever's blocking you, then get up, move around, connect to life. Learn to energize yourself. So allow your breath to deepen. Gently rock your head from side to side. Bring movement to fingers and toes. Sweep your arms overhead, maybe taking a big stretch, reaching up through fingers and down through toes, tucking your chin in towards your chest. And exhale and release. And sweep your arms by your sides, giving your legs a squeeze. And then when you're ready, you can roll to right side. Pausing for a moment. And then using your right elbow and left hand to sit up slowly, mindfully, bring your head up last to a comfortable seat. Connecting sits bones to earth, toning belly, lengthening through crown of head. Draw your hands together at heart center. And Anjali Mudra. And then let's seal our practice by joining our voices in the gentle sound of Om. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.